Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to look at the subreddit r/entitledparents, where people tell us their stories of crazy mums and dads who think they're entitled just because they have kids. If you're new around here, please hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. Entitled parent lets kid treat wheelchair as a toy. It was a normal Saturday night and I was working at my job. I work at a major retail store, not going to say the name, but it rhymes with souls. The rush we get on most Saturdays had calmed down and my coworker and I were just straightening the floor. She works the registers while I'm a floor person. We were folding down the floor when our entitled mother, entitled kid, and dad came in. Now for context. Our store has 2 wheelchairs for customers who need to use them freely. I have a particular protective stance on them as my sister also uses one on her bad days due to her MS, and people like to misuse them. And here's where our fun story really begins. Entitled Kid was a boy of around 12 and had literally ran into the store all smiles and laughs. Then his eyes zero in on the wheelchair. He goes to grab it, and I make my way over to the family and stand slightly in front of the wheelchair. Hello and welcome to this store. My name is Jamilton76. Can I help you find anything? The kid backs off due to my arrival, while the parents tell me they're clothes shopping for Entitled Kid. They grab a car and all head off towards the kids section. I go to check on the rest of the floor and to fold where needed. It was a little over 5 minutes later when I watched the kid zoom back, snatch the wheelchair and take off. I'm angry and was ready to chase after him, but a lady needed help getting something off a mannequin, so I put it out of my mind. An hour later, my coworker needed to take her break, and I offered to cover her. She hadn't been gone 2 minutes when who comes to check out? Yup, entitled mum, entitled kid, and the dad. But you know who isn't there? The wheelchair. I'm mad. Not only did he take a piece of equipment he honestly didn't need, but left it God knows where in the store. I'm not about to let that fly. Hello, did you find everything okay? Yeah, but your kids' area is really messy. Liar. My other coworker who works in that department is beyond OCD and never lets a mess sit. But I ignore that and press on to what I really want to know. I look at the entitled kid. Where is the wheelchair? The entitled kid, confused. What? The wheelchair I saw you take earlier. Where is it? If it's not in use, it has to be by the front door. His eyes go wide. He knows he's caught, but entitled mum doesn't get it. My son doesn't know anything about a wheelchair. He isn't a disabled person, he's actually useful. Wow, I can't believe she just said that. Neither can the dad, it seems, as he looks at his wife with a mixture of disgust and confusion. Honey, entitled kid was riding it. Be quiet. Okay, so now I know what's going on. Clearly she knew her kid had used it, but didn't care about where he left it. I looked back to entitled kid, and with my stern but friendly customer voice, I tell him, please go bring it back. We have customers who come in that have to use them to get around. Entitled kid just nods and scurries off back the way they came. The dad doesn't look irritated, but entitled mother is mad. That was not your job to tell him what to do. Ma'am, my job is to ensure that all customers have their needs met while they are shopping. I can't do that if the crucial equipment for our handicapped customers is not where they can be easily accessed. Entitled mother, giving up on trying to act clueless. He was just playing with it. He wasn't hurting anyone. Wheelchairs are not toys, ma'am, and he shouldn't be playing with them. She goes quiet, obviously trying to come up with something clever to throw back at me. Failing that, she goes to the classic Karen response. I want your manager. Me, shrugging as calm as heck as my manager on duty is a no BS type of person. No problem. Then you can explain to her how your child was misusing store property and you were trying to lie to me about him doing so. If you really want to push this further, I can ask for her to look at our security tapes. Before I can grab my walkie, the dad puts his hands up in a defensive motion. That's not necessary. I apologize for my son and wife. He turns to entitled mother. Just stop. She's only doing her job, and I told you back there that entitled kid shouldn't have had it. He was just playing. Dad and me, at the same time, it's not a toy. By the time I'm finished bagging their items, entitled kid has come back, pushing the wheelchair back to where he had taken it from. He rejoined his parents and said a quiet sorry to me before they all left the store. The entitled mother glaring daggers at me the whole way. I told my coworker when she got back and we both had a laugh about it. Moral of the story, don't play with wheelchairs. That relationship between the mother and the dad just seems a bit toxic, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I think that's probably gonna end badly. Entitled mother-in-law thinks she'll be in the hospital whenever her son and I have a baby. Backstory. My partner and I have been together for a while and we are planners. Love talking about the future. At the time of this conversation, a few months ago, so I'll do my best to make it as accurate as possible, we were talking about babies, how many we wanted, names, etc. Entitled mother-in-law, or Emil, must have been eavesdropping when I was talking about who will be in the room and the godparents, etc. So the conversation goes, "Of course I'll be there, I have to film it for the family." No, you're welcome in the waiting room with everyone else, but the only people allowed in for the birth will be my partner and my mum. Well, why is your mum allowed but I'm not? I demand to be there, it's my grandchild. Yes, it will be your grandchild, but I have severe phobias of hospitals and needles. My mum needs to be there for me so that I know what's going on. I can do that. I should be there instead of her. She shouldn't be allowed near her after her stupidity. She yelled at your partner. She didn't yell at me. She told me to keep you in line after you tried to stop OP from doing life-saving chemo treatments. At this point, I walked away before she starts something that she couldn't finish. My partner went off his nut at telling her she's lucky to even be in the hospital waiting room when it happens. Since then, I no longer live or visit there. I have other posts explaining why. I really want to hear the story about her trying to stop her from having chemo, like, that sounds like a crazy entitled mother story. Karen yells at me and a friend for not being white. Me, myself, a brown Guyanese 14-year-old in Canada. F, a friend, he's a Ugandan refugee. EM, Karen the Beluga. EK, 7-ish-year-old who looks like a plump potato. Upset boyfriend, some varsity b-ball player, judging by the looks. POC, people or person of colour. Warning, a few things to get out of the way or help understand the story. Number 1, the extremely rude N-word is mentioned a lot. Number 2, Guyana is on the north coast of South America, between Venezuela and Suriname. Number 3, my friend is very emotional about his dad, who passed away in 2013 while in Uganda, but my friend and his mum and brothers were in Canada. Story. So me and my friend are just chilling at the movies, about to watch Far From Home, and we live in a small Canadian city above Toronto, which is predominantly white, Italian majority. We have both gotten used to being some of the only people of colour in public places. On this day, we happen to be the only people of colour in the theatre, besides from a couple in the far back. They become relevant later. We got to the movies pretty early, as we both like to play time play for the rewards. Here comes, or more accurately waddles, entitled mother and entitled kid. They both sit down beside us, without looking at us. After 20 seconds or so, Entitled Kid does. He whispers to Entitled Mother something about us that makes her turn to us, and make a face that's like she just ate wasabi like ice cream. Cars 2 reference. She did have a minuscule amount of manner, and talked quietly at first. Hey, excuse me, can you guys switch seats? My son feels uncomfortable sitting around you guys. Sorry ma'am, we can't, as the theatre is now full and we rightfully paid for these seats. No, it's not. The first row is empty. The one where you have to break your neck to see the screen. My friend, in a slight African accent, which I'm not going to attempt. No, please be quiet. The previews are starting, and frankly, you're making me uncomfortable. Mummy, the black men, we are 14, are scary. Make them go away. Honey, I will. Ma'am, I understand your son is young, but I do take offense to being called black. I am Guyanese. Could you please educate your child of different races and have him apologize? Don't you dare tell me how to parent. I am a 3rd grade geography teacher, and I know for a fact that Ghana is in Africa. My son can't hear the previews because of you. That's right, her kid couldn't hear because of us, even though she's the one breaking the sound barrier. Ma'am, stop yelling. You are being blatantly racist, and it's extremely rude. I suggest you apologize to my friend before this escalates further. I am not afraid to get the manager. Mommy, the black guys are always the bad guys. Clearly his first Marvel movie. Make the move. I am not black. I am South American. Guyana is in South America, and you and your kid are attracting too much attention and the previews are almost done. So can you please be quiet? I am also still waiting for the apology from your confused kid. You dare speak to me! My son is no ordinary kid. He is in the highest reading level, but you illiterate bleeps can't even read, can you? My friend, in a higher tone, but not yelling, Ma'am, that is uncalled for. You better stand up and apologize in front of the whole theatre, or there will be consequences. The amount of patience and class my friend has always boggles me. If this was me, I would have gone double the mad Karen did. I knew it. You guys are part of the Nigerian terrorists. She probably meant the Boko Haram. I will call the RCMP to get you monkeys out of this country. You disgust me. I am not black and my friend is not Nigerian. He's Ugandan, you uncultured cow. Great, so your black buddy works for Joseph Kony. You bleeps have destroyed everything the whites do. My son is forced to live with savages like you. We should have never freed the slaves. We're in Canada, not America. Hashtag bad geography teachers. My friend is now crying because his dad was in the Ugandan army and died fighting Joseph Kony's revolution. The movie has started at this point, and it makes the audience twice as mad at Entitled Mother. You have no right to say that. If you don't apologize to my friend now, all hell will break loose. My screaming catches the attention of a worker taking out the used 3D glasses from the last movie. What's going on here? The bleeps threaten to hurt me and my son. Arrest them, deport them, do something. She clearly failed to see that the worker was a person of color too. You are going to have to leave. No. Ma'am, leave now or I will get security. The upset boyfriend from the couple mentioned earlier. Ma'am, you can either get out now with this man or I will beat you all the way to the parking lot. I can say with 100% honesty, this man was huge. Not only was he jacked, he was a solid 6'8" or so. She finally leaves, but not without attempting to rip out my ear piercing. But the upset boyfriend slaps her arm out of the way so hard it sped up the Earth's rotation. As I'm still in shock from Karen trying to rip out my earring, but me and my friend, who's no longer crying, can't help but grin as she gets applauded on her way out and pelted with water cups, some still with water in them. The movie was restarted at the manager's request, and when we left, we were both given $50 gift cards, and told she was banned from all Cineplexes, a major Canadian movie theatre chain, as she had caused so much trouble before. P.S. The movie was great. How is there still people as racist as her in the world? Like, people like her in that story just deserve the worst, and especially because she's got a young kid that she's giving the values straight to, and it's just awful. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.